Order, honorable members. Order. Order, honorable members. Order. Honorable members, on your feet, take your seats. Those conducting unlawful kamkunjis, order. Order. Those members who want to leave the chamber for whatever reason, do so quietly. We are now going into question time, and those who have a habit of constituting mini kamkunjis, please desist. We want to conduct business peacefully. Question time now. CS for Health, Susan Nakhumicha, welcome to Parliament with your team. We'll now start with question number 009 of 2024, member for Westlands, Timothy Wanyonyi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I ask question 009 of 2024, the Cabinet Secretary for Health. Could the Cabinet Secretary explain why the ministry is yet to post medical interns who ought to have been posted in September 2023, noting that such a delay denies the affected graduates the opportunity to put into practice the theoretical skills gained? Question number 2, provide timelines to which the collective bargaining agreement signed in 2017 between the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union and the government will be fully implemented. And number 3, outline the steps being taken to resolve the recent disputes and end the strike to ensure uninterrupted health delivery. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speakers, Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members. It's always a pleasure for me to appear before this House to speak to the people's representatives and to explain what the ministry is doing. On the question raised by Honorable Timothy Wanyonyi, that the ministry explains why the ministry is yet to post medical interns who ought to have been posted in September 2023, noting that such a delay denies the affected graduates the opportunity to put into practice theoretical skills gained. Honorable Speaker and honorable members, the ministry had a total of 3,759 interns as at February 2024 for posting under the different cadres as indicated. We had 849 medical officer interns, 72 dentist interns, 289 pharmacist interns, 1,134 nursing degree interns, 145 degree clinical officer interns, and 1,270 clinical diploma interns. Of these that I have mentioned, 1,270 clinical officer diploma interns were posted and they have already reported in their placement centers. Another 1,210 medical officers, dental officers, and pharmacists have been posted, and their letters of posting have equally been shared on their emails, and they are expected to have reported starting the 15th of April, and the ministry has started taking stock from the internship centers to determine how many have so far reported. The ministry is now in the process of finalizing the process for posting the nursing 2,404 nursing and clinical degree interns, and they will start collecting their letters, and we have equally posted on their emails. They also ought to report starting the 15th of April, which has already passed. Honorable Speaker and honorable members, I would like to note that, however, there was a delay in the posting of interns due to lack of budgetary allocations. In the financial year 2023-2024, the ministry was allocated a total of 3.6 billion to cater for internship program against a requirement of 5.7 billion. This resulted in a gap of 2 billion. This gap was considered during the supplementary estimate number 1 and was able to cater only for the 4,156 interns who were posted in July 2023. The ministry appealed to the National Treasury to provide funding of 4.8 billion to cater for the placement of the 3,759 interns through a letter dated 1st of February 2024. The National Treasury replied to the letter through a letter on the 13th of February, indicating that they were not in a position to provide requested funds and advised the ministry to rationalize the numbers and equally to review the internship policy with a view to accommodate more interns within the available budgetary provisions. Following the guidance from the National Treasury, the ministry wrote to the Salary and Remuneration Commission for guidance on how to rationalize that. The SRC responded by providing stipend rates to be payable to interns. With the rates from the SRC, the ministry wrote to the National Treasury and managed to secure 2.3 billion to post the 3,755 interns. It is on this rate that the interns I have indicated above have been posted. Honorable Speaker and honorable members, on the second part of the question, that the ministry provides timelines to which the collective bargaining agreement signed in 2017 between Kenya Medical Practitioner, Pharmacy and Dentist Union and the government will be fully implemented. Honorable Speaker and members, the collective bargaining agreement signed with KMPDU in 2017 continue to be implemented by the national government. The national government has so far undertaken the following to fulfill its obligations under the CBA. 1, it has facilitated the payment of basic salary arrears accrued by the national government entities arising from the 2017-2021 CBA. And I would like to confirm that indeed the national government has actually even paid in excess, and there are some doctors who owe the national government some money. The national government has also provided grants and scholarship for eligible postgraduate medical officers based on immediate service needs basis. Equally, the national government has provided comprehensive medical insurance to the doctors at the national government level. In the financial year 2023-2024, the ministry posted 4,156 medical interns in July 2023 at a total cost of 4.3 billion. These interns are due to complete their internship in June 2024. Similarly, the ministry secured 2.3 billion to post the 3,759 medical interns according to the SRC advisory rates. However, there are challenges in implementation of some of the provisions, including the areas of internship. These challenges will be addressed in the new cycle of negotiations of the CBA, which is ongoing. It is also important to note that a good number of those aspects of the CBA need to be implemented by the county governments. The third question, Honorable Speaker and members, outlined the steps being taken to resolve the recent disputes and end the strike to ensure uninterrupted healthcare delivery. Honorable Speaker and honorable members, the ministry is taking various steps and measures to resolve the ongoing strike. The measures being taken have been categorized into immediate and short-term, medium-term, and long-term. In the short-term and in the immediate, the ministry has posted all interns, and this posting was from 2nd of April based on the revised rates of SRC. All the interns ought to have reported to their internship center by the 15th of April. Honorable Speaker and honorable members, I've said the ministry is in the process of collecting returns from the respective internship centers. In a few days, we shall be able to report on how many of these interns have actually reported. But we confirm in the affirmative that the clinical officer diploma interns have reported, and we have returns at the ministry. The ministry has also requested for 267 million for payment of postgraduate registrars' fees arrears. I stand to confirm, Honorable Speaker and members, that in this week, the Ministry has received a confirmation from National Treasury of 200 million that will be given to the Ministry to be able to pay these arrears. The Ministry has also requested SRC to advise on the demand by the Kenya Union of Clinical Officers to have their risk allowance increased from 3,000 shillings to 15,000 shillings. Honorable Speaker and honorable members, this is a 500% increase. So the Ministry awaits for guidance from SRC, and based on the guidance that we receive, we shall be bringing this into the budget, so that then once approved, we should be able to effect it. The Ministry has also requested the Public Service Commission to review the clinical officers' career progression guidelines. The medical laboratory officers who have joined the doctor strike do not have a recognition agreement with the government. Therefore, the Ministry has written to them citing the criteria that is required for them to be recognized as a union, and we wait for them to return back having met the criteria, and then we start the process of recognition. Those are under the immediate and short-term measures. Honorable Speaker and honorable members, under the medium-term measures, the Ministry of Health is reviewing the internship policy to address aspects of the program, including the need for students to transit to internship without any delay. The internship policy will be finalized within this month of April. Happy to report, Honorable Speaker and members, that yesterday the Ministry undertook internal stakeholder validation, and it went very well. And next week we shall be proceeding to external stakeholder validation to receive the comments of the external stakeholders. Honorable Speaker and members, the Ministry is ongoing with the CBA negotiation. The 2017 CBA lapsed in 2021, and therefore we are in the process of negotiating on the new CBA to be signed. The Ministry is also actively participating in the whole of nation approach discussion that were ordered by the judge of the Employment and Labor Relations Court. In the long-term measures, Honorable Speaker and members, the Ministry is in the process of developing a comprehensive human resource for health policy to address all aspects of human resource in the country, in the entire spectrum of the value chain, from production, supply, internship and regulation of employment, retention of the health workers, distribution and stock density, skills and mix, including motivation and productivity of the human resource for health. The Ministry also in the long term would want to operationalize the Kenya Health Human Resource Advisory Council to enable it to execute its mandate. This entails providing the necessary budget finalization of the human resource instruments in order to obtain the necessary skills and capacities to execute their mandates. Other measures that are being taken by the Ministry is that the Cabinet Secretary, Minister of Labor and Social Protection, was appointed by the court and has appointed 3 conciliators to guide the parties to arrive at the dispute, and the process is ongoing. To arrive at a resolution, and the process is ongoing. The court also appointed the whole of nation approach that is being led by the head of public service to bring together both levels of government and entities to the dispute with a view to seeking a solution to perennial issues in the health sector, and the process is ongoing. Honorable Speaker and honorable members, I hereby submit. Thank you.
Yes, Member for Westlands.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you very much, Waziri, for that elaborate answer to my question. However, I would like to seek clarification on a few issues. Considering the importance of maintaining stable healthcare system, what strategies are being implemented to prevent similar delays in disputes in the future, particularly regarding the implementation of agreements and timely placement of medical professionals? And the second clarification I need is, what strategies are in place to regulate the number of graduates from the medical schools in the country, and efforts for coordination that will ensure Ministry of Health is aware of expected interns before every budgeting cycle for adequate planning. Thank you.
Minister will take several, having gotten from the questioner. I'll allow a couple of joyriders, starting with the member for Senate.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would have liked to do more than being a joyrider, but this, as we know, the whole week I've been trying that, but I'll take what is available. Mr. Speaker, the issue is that the interns have been posted. And that's what we are told. But what we know, not all interns have reported. And then that brings to me the issue that I would like a clarification from the minister. When we use the word intern, who are we talking about? There are various cadres within the ministry, and they do different internship. Now, there are also generally in the country the term internship which is used in industry. Do we have a clear clarification of who these are? And why I ask that question, Mr. Speaker, is this. We have some interns who are now employed. Now we have interns who are now going to get stipends. If we understand it, the difference between somebody who is earning a salary and somebody who is given a stipend is that the person who is being given a stipend is not employed, but is being given some support. By definition, an intern is actually a doctor who is starting work. He or she has graduated, has taken the Hippocratic Oath, has actually been given an interim license, and when they are on duty in hospitals where they are, the structure in those hospitals will normally be, amongst the doctors, there's a first on call, who is always the intern, there's a second on call, and there's a third on call. And at all these levels, people call on the next level if they reach their limit of ability. And many, many times in many situations, interns will actually see patients right through to discharge and they go home. So when we are now talking of stipend, are we saying these people are not employed? So you will then have two, one on a full salary of what we are talking of 200,000 and one on the salary of 90,000, working side by side doing the same thing. How will that work? And is that good for peace in the industry?
Because of your tremendous interest on the matter, can you now ask the question? You've been making a speech.
Mr. Speaker, all these are questions. When we talk of insurance, the minister said the insurance has been paid at national level. What that means is there are some doctors at county level that do not have an insurance. And that actually is the status. Why is it not that we use the coordination mechanisms within the government provided in the Constitution so that health workers, not just doctors, have similar conditions of work across? Because that is provided for, and that is one of the reasons that is giving us problems. Mr. Speaker, the next one is the postgraduate doctor. And why I'm asking this question, this is a problem that has been there, it is in the strike now. I've said in our committee, and we have put this, and I want to ask the minister if this can help this country. Why is it that when they come for postgraduate, they are working in hostels that are government hostels, which are funded by government, and the work they are doing is full work? Why can't we, while funding those hostels, create these positions which are paid for at that hostels, so that the counties don't have to pay them when they are actually working in Kenyatta? The counties can then use that money to employ doctors during that period they are away, because that is giving us a problem.
Last one.
The issue of, well, Mr. Speaker, I'll stop, but it means that I may still come on with my request of yesterday, because something I've not.
A whole 5 minutes to ask a question.
Now, recognition as members of the union goes back. Are we taking them as employees? Because if they are employees, then I think by rights they will have. So are they employees or are they not? I must add, Mr. Speaker, all over the world, medical interns are employees and they actually earn salaries. Even here in Kenya, there are private hospitals that are actually employing interns, paying them. So the question is important. Mr. Speaker, I have the interest of this country at heart, and therefore I know that is the last, but I want to make a suggestion which I think can help this country. This is not a question, it's a comment, and the minister can make a comment on it. The problem we are having is that we are saying that all interns can only be employed or must only be employed by the government, by the ministry, and we are limiting it. Why don't we put, and the minister will understand this, or her technical people, a regulation that all levels at which interns can work, and those are level 4 and 5, whether they are private or they are public, they create levels of position for interns by law. Because even when you start a hostel, you have a certain number of staff you should have. If we do that, Mr. Speaker, we'll open a large space for interns, and we shall not have this problem, and they do not have to be paid by the government. Today, Aga Khan, as interns, they are paying. Karen as interns, they are paying. Tenwek as interns, they are paying. Kijabe as interns, they are paying. So we have to look at it broadly so that we actually can get rid of this problem that looks perennial of interns. Mr. Speaker, I may later on seek how to discuss this more, but for now, I'll leave it there.
Honorable members, I gave Honorable Nyikal that latitude because you know he had attempted to bring a motion of adjournment on this matter, and I assured him that I'll give him the latitude that I've extended to him. The rest of the joyriders, one question each. Mishimbogo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I just want to put a question to our CS, and the question is about what is the gross salary and the net salary for the intern? Is it true that it was reduced by 91%? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
We'll take more. Waziri, Junaid Mohammed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Speaker, I would like to ask a supplementary question. First, I don't understand which law this whole government nation is anchored on. This concept of whole government approach, I don't know what it is. I know Ministry of Labor, Ministry of Health, that's beside the point. But the interns' salaries or stipend, whatever you want to call it, in the CBA was meant to be 206,000. That's what they are claiming. The ministry initially proposed 47,000, but later went to 70,000. I would like to know from the ministry, how did you come up with that figure of 70,000? What did you consider in coming up with those figures? Is it the cost of living? Is it the availability of funds? How did you come up that 70,000 is enough for interns? I would like to know.
Thank you. Yes, I'll give to Mama Zamzam.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika.
Swali moja tu.
Namuuliza waziri, nilimsikia akisema kuwa amewapa madaktari mambo yao kutatuliwa mpaka Julai. Nataka nimuulize, kuna yule mama ambaye ni mjamzito na mtoto amefika wakati wake wa kuzaliwa, anahitaji daktari kumsaidia. Huyu mtoto yeye amempangia kitu gani na kwa nini ameondoa linda mama ambaye asaidia kina mama? Asante.
Mwenje. Minister, record all those. I'll give you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, during this time where the doctors and the interns are on strike, I'd like the Cabinet Secretary to tell Kenyans directly, especially women who are expectant, where can they obtain services? This is an issue, Honorable Speaker. All members of Parliament are being contacted by their constituents, and because of the shortage of doctors, what options do Kenyans have during this difficult time? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. John Badi. Mutauliza tu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I want to thank the Cabinet Secretary for a detailed answer or response to this question. But I just want to ask one straight question. The CS has indicated clearly that she has been asked by the Treasury to rationalize the budget of the ministry. What is the CS doing in that exercise of rationalization of the budget? Because a lot of money is spent on services which ordinarily should be devolved. Yet, important assignments for the national government, like this case of intern doctors, is given lip service. So what are you doing? Can you state to this House and to the people of Kenya specifically what you are doing in terms of rationalizing the budget of the ministry? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The member next to Mishi, you are very far, I can't. That is
Ken Chonga.
Let him use
Ben Chonga.
Yes.
Yes, Mheshimiwa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to know from Madam Waziri. She said that the CPA of 2017 expired and they're working on the current CPA. But what measure is the ministry taking to avert any more strikes? Because it is like before the doctors are given whatever they have agreed in the CPA, a strike might follow. And so many people are suffering, people are dying. There is total chaos in the history of the health industry. What measures is the ministry taking to ensure that we no longer undergo a similar situation again? Thank you.
TJ Kajwang. After that, Waziri, you can answer.
Thank you, Mr.
We'll
Speaker.
do another round.
Mr. Speaker, you know, you and I, we have the misfortune of, we can only be patients, not like my brother here who can be a doctor. We can only be patients. But I pray that you and I, we do not go to hospital around this time when things are still not very stable. Mr. Speaker, my question is two. One, Madam Minister, are you lying to this House?
That is an parliamentary language. Withdraw.
Are you misleading this House? I withdraw. Are you misleading this House? Because the reason you came to this House, according to the question that was asked, was majorly to show us the level of implementation of the CBA. You have explained that you have implemented the CBA. In fact, you said that you have overpaid according to the CBA. But the truth, or what we have, the information we have from our constituents is different.
She said a few doctors have been overpaid.
Yes, a few doctors
Not a general term.
have been overpaid.
Yes.
So the question about the implementation of the CBA, because if then the CBA is fully implemented, why would be doctors out there be continuing to be on strike, claiming that their monies have been withheld or have not been paid or have been underpaid by the ministry? So, Madam Minister, are you misleading the House? Now, that is question one. Number two.
Only one.